What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to try to make it a habit to come to you guys with weird and crazy and wild stories. I've done a few in the past. This one caught my eye. Now I'm going to read the article to you. The title alone caught my eye. So the title was, a guy says he had a heart attack and went to hell in 2016. Here's what he saw. Yeah, caught your attention too, huh? Well, let's see what this article says. There's no video or anything, but it was just so interesting to me. So we're going to go ahead and check this out together. So it says here, a priest says he briefly went to hell in 2016. He saw men walking like dogs and heard demons singing Rihanna songs. While many of the most publicized near-death experiences are more positive than this journey to hell, negative NDEs also occur. Now, this article is from, let's see, it's called Popular Mechanics. I'll leave the link down in the description box. It says in 2016, a Michigan-based priest named Gerald Johnson suffered a heart attack. He says he had a near-death experience, NDE, that sent him somewhere he never thought he'd visit, hell. Recently, Johnson took to TikTok to share the details of his traumatic NDE, far from the kind of warm, bright light epiphany you might expect to hear from someone who temporarily ventures into the great beyond. Quote, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, Johnson recounts in the viral video. I don't care what he did to me, no one deserves that. Johnson says that immediately after his heart attack in February 2016, his spirit left his physical body and went down to hell, entering through the very center of earth, quote unquote. Though he says the things I saw there are indescribable, he did his best. Let's see here. Johnson claims he saw a man walking on all fours like a dog and getting burned from head to toe. His eyes were bulging, and worse than that, he was wearing chains on his neck. He was like a hellhound. There was a demon holding the chains. Johnson also heard music in hell, including Rihanna's Umbrella and Bobby McFerrin's Don't Worry, Be Happy, traditionally upbeat tunes. Only this time, these things, I hate even the word demon. I don't even like, we're going to call them these, yes. We're singing the songs to torture people, quote unquote. Johnson says his hellacious NDE made him realize he needed to forgive people who had wronged him instead of hoping for their punishment. Maybe Johnson's story sounds far-fetched to you, but scientists say that while many of the most publicized NDEs have a positive spin, negative NDEs certainly occur too. The experts just aren't entirely sure how or why. Researchers, especially those from the International Association for Near-Death Studies, believe NDEs most likely happen due to a change in blood flow to the brain during sudden life-threatening events like a heart attack, blunt trauma, or even shock. As your brain starts losing blood and oxygen, the electrical activity within the brain begins to power down. Like a town that loses power one neighborhood at a time, local regions of the brain go offline one after another, one expert told Scientific American. During an NDE, your mind is left to keep working, but without its normal operational parameters, whether simply an oxygen shortage, some sort of anesthesia, or neurochemical response to trauma, as hypothesized. The NDE leaves those who experience it with a real, sometimes traumatic memory. We may not know how that memory happened, and unlike Johnson and his trip to hell, victims may not want to recount it ever again, but it could change their life. Let me tell y'all something, okay? This is a priest we are talking about. A priest had a heart attack and says his soul left his body and went to hell. Could you imagine going through some type of traumatic situation like that, and then, like, I can't even imagine his fear or the way that he explained it as best he could, but we don't even know exactly how he felt about it. Just saying, like, you know what, I'm a priest, and the fact that my soul went down there instead of up there, it's a scary situation. But I found this to be really interesting, and I had no idea that this was a priest that they were talking about, because it just says a guy said it. That's some scary stuff, y'all. That is some scary stuff. And he feels that it's because he needed to forgive people instead of kind of wishing their punishment. It's kind of tough because, I assume you would just kind of pray for people and things like that. And, but at the end of the day, we are all human, and we do, we are born in sin. And it's like we have those moments where sometimes some people that have wronged us, we want a little bit of payback, or we want them to feel what they made us feel and things like that. But for it to get to that point where he had this experience, like, I wonder if there's been anybody else who have had the same experience. And it's just so weird hearing like Rihanna songs and things like that. And that just kind of makes you wonder the type of stuff that we listen to on a daily basis. And, I've heard things about musicians and the music industry, being filled with stuff, but I don't even get into stuff like that. That's just that's a whole nother story for probably a day that will not come on my channel. But anyway, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think of this weird story. It's definitely wild. It's definitely wild. Like, I know I've heard of stories of people, experiencing the opposite. Maybe they had a heart attack, or maybe, they flatlined at one point in a hospital and came back to life, and what they saw was totally not that. But yeah, that's no thank you. No thank you. Leave your comments down below. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel, hit like, share, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified whenever I pop up on your feed. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.